It's like I'm live. Cool. Well, this is a good old fun story that was brought up. Had a good chat with an old friend today, and oh yeah, and huge shout out. One of my coaching clients just signed their first $30,000 deal. So that's awesome. That always puts a smile on my face. My podcast hit not top 100, top 103 on Apple Podcasts, which is awesome. So it's been 2 days of great. Oh, my shows today. We had social health asking for help, which is really a tough thing for virtually anyone. When do you ask? When do you not ask? Who do you ask? Great insight there. And then, oh boy, I forgot the other one. Crap. They're gonna kill me. Um, I know who was on it. What were we even talking about? God, I'm so dumb sometimes. Social health asking for help. I don't remember the other one. I just remember I know who was on it. It was a great show. Oh man, that's gonna kill me. Oh man. Brain fart. Too much good stuff going on. All right, so huge shout out. Um, I don't really disclose who clients are. There's some sort of privilege there, but $30,000. Started working with me probably 6 months ago, and was scared to even like send an invoice for like $350. Her and I have been talking, and 6 months later, she's now signing $30,000 deals. That's crazy awesome. Good for her. So proud. Um, yeah, that's dope. If you are not, I will say I do free coaching a lot, Mondays and Fridays. If you want the link, just fucking comment growwithaustin.com. But it's getting jam packed, and I am not dedicating any more time to it. So until, I mean, I think we're booked out like 3 weeks right now. So if you want to get free coaching or consulting or whatever from me, now is the time before we have to raise prices as we usually do when things are in high demand. So that being said, let's get to this story. So I was talking to an old buddy who was laughing at me. He always makes fun of me because of the hermit crab portion of the story, but there's a lot of background about my deliriousness and all the craziness that happened. So let's try to paint this little picture. All right, we're in Mexico. This is back when I used to have a condo there. So this is like 2015, 16, 17, somewhere around there. I honestly don't remember. Sold the condo when there was yeah, if you Google mass shooting blue parrot in Playa del Carmen, that was pretty much, oh my God, that iguana is like at the very top. Can I zoom in on this thing? Oh, oh, this is not going to work very well. Where he's like up in there. Okay, that doesn't help in any way. This isn't helping, but it's crazy. He's like so far up. How does he not fall? That is cool to watch. Cool. All right. Iguanas. Wow. Fascinating. Back to this story that I've gone on 15 tangents from. All right. Here's what happened. So I've got this condo. What are we down there for? A wedding. This is Eddie and Stephanie's wedding. Unfortunately, they are no longer together. Still love them both very much. It was an awesome wedding. It was all white on the beach. I think they wanted us to wear shorts. Was it Dorothy? Dorothy's dad came down from the Netherlands, and him and I didn't have clothes, so we went shopping together and wore the same outfit. I think we had white shorts. I think we found like white button downs, and then we had like teal like loafers and teal belts. It actually looked pretty good. We were awesome. So what happens is, everyone's staying in Tulum. I'm staying at my place in Playa del Carmen. It's about 40 minutes away, and I have 3 bedrooms there. I think I have. And maybe it's just my buddy Paco staying there. It might just be him and I that stayed in my place. So him and I are chilling. We go down for the wedding. Wedding gets crazy, obviously. It's on the beach in Mexico. We're all like 20. I don't even know how long ago this is. So we're all like 25 to 28, something like that. Maybe a touch older. So then we end up going out to, after the wedding, to like a local dinner, bar, club, whatever. We're in Tulum partying. It ends up being just me and my buddy Sean. Oh, we run into one of my friends, my ex, I guess, hookups from college. Yeah, we're at the bar, and all I hear is, "It's Austin! It's Austin!" I go, "Oh, holy shit, Liz, what's up?" So then we start hanging out with her and her friends. And we end up going back to their place, and so we're hanging out there for a while. And this is probably 3, 4 a.m. And finally, Sean and I make our way back. Super drunk, super, partying, whatever. I don't. Sean doesn't really do drugs, and I don't either. So it's just a lot of booze. It's like 4 a.m. I remember he like steps on a sea anemone or an urchin. So he's like limping back. We finally get back to the place. I don't have anywhere to stay because I'm supposed to be at my house an hour away, and I just said, "Fuck it." They had hammocks. I remember I was like, "I'm gonna just sleep on a hammock. Screw it." So they like everyone's staying there. There's probably 20 people. They all have like little huts. It's like beach huts. I think there's 2 or 3 people to a hut, something like that. So they have a hammock. So I ended up sleeping on a hammock. So they all planned on going to a theme park the next day. I was not going to join them. I don't remember why. I think I was just going to go home and maybe work. Maybe I'd already done the theme parks. I lived there, so I didn't care as much. So I think I was just skipping that. And I was meet up with them afterwards after they did the theme park stuff. So I get woken up at like say 8 a.m. They're all getting ready to go, and I'm just like laying in this hammock, and I'm like, let me sleep, whatever. Probably hungover as shit. Um, man, this is gonna be such a long story. All right, so then finally I do wake up, and I'm alone. And I'm like, well, where's Paco? I think Paco and I had plans to go back to my place together because all his stuff was there and he's staying there. So I'm like, what the hell? I'm like knocking on doors, freaking out. My phone's dead because obviously I didn't bring my charger. I figured I'm with 25 of my friends. I would have a phone charger or something would happen in the morning. So I find out I'm all alone at this resort in Tulum. And I'm like knocking on every door, and I'm like it's starting to dawn on me, starting to realize that I am alone. And so then I'm like, okay, well, where's my keys to my house? I'll just grab a taxi and just go home. And so I started looking, and I'm like, in the place I'm pretty sure I had them, they weren't there. Couldn't find my wallet, couldn't find my keys, phone's dead, all my friends are gone. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm starting to get pissed. And so I go to like the main desk. I'm like, did anyone turn in keys and this and that? I need money to pay for a taxi to go up. The cost of the taxi back then, I think it was like, how many pesos? It was like maybe 50 pesos, which was like $2.50. So it might cost me like $2.50 to take a collective up there, which is like the local buses to get up there. It's like a 40-minute drive for $2.50. So I'm sitting here trying to be like, where the hell? So I asked I remember asking the front desk, like, can I just borrow like $5 and like go home and I'll make one of my friends pay? They're like, no, they wouldn't do it. I'm like, can I borrow a phone? But then also, I mean, who knows anyone's phone number? I mean, maybe I had 1 or 2 memorized, but everything's in my phone. I'm trying to find a charger. They don't have anything. So I'm like, all right, well, maybe someone will come back at some point. So now it's probably 10:30, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm at a beautiful beach resort. So I just borrow someone's trunks. I'm pretty sure I just like went into someone's room, took their swimsuit, and put it on. And I just start swimming. I'm just hanging out on the beach. And I think there's like 4 or 5 other people there, just like, hey, what's up? And so finally I'm like, well, now I'm hungry. So now I'm trying to get food. So I go back to the front desk. I'm like, can I just get food on one of these rooms? At that point, though, they like knew that I wasn't staying there. And so they kind of were like almost telling me to get out. And I was like, yo, I got nowhere to go and no money. Somebody took my wallet and somebody took my keys. And you say you don't have them. So I have to wait till my friends get back to figure out that is, unless you can call them. You probably have their number and since they all booked rooms with you, but they wouldn't give that out, wouldn't give to me anything. So then I'm like, all right, so how do I get money? So then I see these like families and people at the beach. And I'm like, okay, let's go see how I can get some money out of these people. So I start talking to them. And the first I probably talked to like 6 different groups total. Let's say the first 2 to 3, I'd be like, hey, what's up? And I'd kind of tell my story, like, I'm stranded here, this and that. And I'm like, it'd be awesome if I could borrow some money. And they were basically like, fuck off. I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy. It's like, I need like $5, $10 is enough money to get food and get home. So I was having a tough time. I think there was like 6 different groups I talked to. So finally I was like, all right, here's my new thing. I'm telling people this story and they like well, I guess maybe one or two of them like didn't have money on them or cash. I only had a credit card. I like it wasn't like everyone's like, ah, you suck. Like there was people like, oh, that sucks so bad. I wish I only have a credit card. So then I changed it. I was like, all right, I got to try to Venmo him. I was like, hey, my phone's dead, but if you send a request, I'll complete it when my phone charges. I only need like $5 and you give me cash right now. And funny enough, a couple years later, I did this, and we did this in Cuba, and my friends didn't believe it would work, and I got like hundreds of dollars from us in Cuba because Cuba was a terrible time, and we needed money, and the only way to get it was that was the only way. We were literally at resorts begging Americans to let us Venmo, and you can't use Venmo in Cuba, so they had to trust us till we got back. But we actually ran into people that we knew that knew had a mutual friend. It was so rare and so lucky. That's a whole nother freaking story. Okay, so we're back here. So finally, I'm just like, all right, let's give these people something. The sob story's not working. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start going up and telling them they have to give me $1 if I make them laugh. So I come up with like my three go-to jokes. I don't remember what they were, um, but I remember I'm like, all right. So I approach these people, and we're just on the beach at a resort, and I'm in someone else's swimsuit. So I go up and I'm like, hey, if I make you laugh, will you give me 20 pesos, which is roughly $1? And finally I get some people to say yes. And I make some laughter and I get like 100 pesos, roughly $5. So then I go to a gas station and buy like this nasty, like half sub sandwich. It's like bread. I like still remember it. It was so gross. It was like just a like kind of like a hoagie roll, like a half a hoagie roll with like one slab of gross looking roast beef and a slab of like so close to moldy cheese and then like a glob of mayonnaise. It was terrible. So I bought that and I think I bought a water, something, and went back and ate it. And that's all I had. So then it's like maybe noon, maybe 1 p.m. And they're planning on being gone all day because when you go to these theme parks, it's an all day thing. I think they close at 4 or 5. So I'm like, God, dang, I got 4 more hours. What am I gonna do? And honestly, I don't even remember what I did, but I remember chilling on the beach. I started, being so bored. I was watching these hermit crabs, really tiny hermit crabs, and they're going back and forth and leaving little prints. And I'm like wondering, like, are they switching shells? What are they doing? So I start. It occupies probably a good hour of my life checking out all these hermit crabs, seeing what they're doing. And lo and behold, eventually, I'm like hunched over watching hermit crabs, and all of a sudden, out of the blue comes someone I know and his girlfriend walking up, and it's my buddy Sean. And I'm like sitting there, I look up, I'm like, oh my God, John, yes. I like run over and hug him, and they're both like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, you will not believe the day I've had. They're like, what are you doing? I was like, well, right now I'm watching hermit crabs. I've been on this beach stranded all day. I've eaten one crappy. Can I have like $5 right now so I can eat and go home? And can I use your phone and call people and like call Paco and find out where the hell he is with my keys and wallet? I sure hope he took them. And Sean's, and they're all just like getting bombarded by me and all my problems. And I'm like, yeah, oh, man, I thought I just remembered the first episode, but it's the same episode. Social health, asking for help. I think the first one had to have been intellectual health. I think I combined those two. Man, I can't believe I forgot that. It was so good too. What a great episode. Um, right. No, I had. Oh, it was physical health supplements. There it is. So I do social health and physical health supplements. Yeah, fascinating. Watched a guy that lost like 50 pounds in 70 days. Crazy. Okay, so back to my story. So then I'm like, yo, Sean, yeah. He's like, wait, what? You've been watching hermit crabs? I'm like, yeah, I've been here all day with no phone, no food, no keys. I can't go to my house because I don't have keys. Someone took them. And my phone's dead. I haven't been able to contact you. Front desk isn't doing shit. I've been telling jokes for money on the beach, and he's just sitting there, and his girl's like laughing, like, "What the fuck? This is like some crazy castaway, Tom Hanks shit." It's and so they're like laughing. So Sean's like, they they have no idea, and I'm just like spewing random shit about my day, and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "I ate a gas station sandwich. I feel terrible. I'm wearing. Are these Collins shorts? I think I'm wearing Collins shorts." And they just are like, what the hell is going on? And so then I like had to slow down and tell him. And Sean got caught up in the fact that I was watching hermit crabs for an hour. So like where so after I finally got I think the first thing I was like, I need your phone to call and make sure that Paco has my phone or my keys in my wallet. So I finally call him and he's like, yeah. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm chilling at your house. So he went back. He thought that I like left my stuff. So he took my phone and keys with him back to my condo. So he's chilling in my rooftop pool by himself sipping pina coladas while I'm on the beach telling jokes for $1. Like an asshole. I was so mad at him. I was like, why would you ever take my stuff? You think that how would I have gone back if I don't have my keys? Like you think I went to the adventure park and left my keys, so you just took them? I was like, what the and you couldn't get a hold of me? Like I clearly needed my shit. Also, I was sleeping right in the hammock in front of that. How did you not notice that? I was really pissed. But the moral of the story is that you have to be able to save your life on a beach by telling jokes and convincing people that you will Venmo them when your phone turns on. That's a terrible moral, but it was just a story that popped in my head that was super funny. And Sean still holds every time I talk to Sean, he's always like, how are the hermit crabs? Because that might have been made up in my head. I still attest that there really were hermit crabs, and they are him and his girl. I tried to show them to him, and I was like, look, these hermit crabs are really interesting. And we'd go on the beach, and I'd like point and stuff, and they never saw the hermit crabs. And so to this day, I guess I don't really have a 100% answer that there were hermit crabs that I watched for an hour and was mesmerized by because they never saw the hermit crabs. And I think they might have seen the hermit crab tracks. But yeah, so to this day, if you go talk to Sean about Austin, he'll be like, dude, this guy made up hermit crabs on the beach while he was going crazy. Um, and so that is the story. I don't really know the moral. It just was something fun.